Running your own business is awesome. It's the dream, as they say. But it's very stressful as well. Customers, they'll see the front end, the products, the signs, the slogans, the happy owner. But it's the back end of the business that really drives the ship. The inventory management, the sales conversions, order processing and shipping. The business behind the business is the key to business. And for millions of businesses around the world, that business behind the business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They're home of the #1 checkout on the planet, which is why so many businesses work with them. And Shopify brings the heat with their secret weapon, Shop Pay, which boosts sales conversions by up to 50%. And that means way fewer carts are being abandoned to checkout and way more sales are going. If you want to grow your business, you better be ready to sell anywhere and everywhere your customers are. Scrolling social media, on your website, in your store, and everywhere in between. It's no secret. Businesses that want to grow with Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Heinz and Mattel use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/RTG, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/RTG to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/RTG. Hey, what's up, everybody? Here's the 411, folks, as the kids say. Life kind of got in the way this week. We got busy, and unfortunately, we were unable to record this week's Remember the Game. I'll take the blame on that one. Apologies. Just, sometimes life does the thing where it gets in the way, and you're tripping, and what have you. So we'll be back next week with Remember the Game 285, which will be our Super Mario Brothers Lost Levels Revisited episode. But in the meantime, I know some of you just can't get through the week without my squeaky, very annoying, semi-pubescent, my stupid voice. So what I decided to do is upload one of our expansion pass episodes. Now, I know I give away kind of a Patreon episode every month to the listeners here on the Remember the Game feed, but not usually as modern as this one was. This one actually only came out November 2nd of last year. It was expansion pass 185, and it's my Super Mario Brothers Wonder review. So if you've been on the fence about this one, hopefully this will sway you. By the way, I think you should pick it up. It's really, really good. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Thank you so much for the support. And we'll be back to our regularly scheduled Remember the Game mediocrity next week. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to play too much music because God knows Nintendo will fucking drop the hammer on me, even though it's a review. I have no idea what I'm allowed to do with their music. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 185th edition of Remember the Game Expansion Pass. It is one of our Patreon exclusive weekly podcasts here at Remember the Game Industries. My name is Adam Blank, and if you're hearing this, watching this, or checking this out live on a stream, you support us on ye old Patreon box. And if that is the case, from the bottom of my flowered heart, thank you for the support. I don't know, it sounded funnier in my head than it sounded coming out of my mouth. Whatever. This week is a very exciting episode of Expansion Pass. I'm sure, I can't imagine anyone listening to this doesn't know, I am a diehard, lifelong Mario fanboy. And if I'm not mistaken, this is my first ever modern Mario platformer review. Like, we reviewed most of his old games on Remember the Game. I didn't launch the show until after Odyssey came out. I mean, we've done stuff like some sports games and things, but I think this is my first new mainline Mario game that I'm reviewing in almost 5 years of Expansion Pass. That's crazy. I'm excited. We're talking Super Mario Brothers Wonder. This is going to be dope. It's not every day that you get a brand new Mario game, and that it released on the exact same day as Spider-Man 2 is just fucking insanity to me. I have been playing both, and I know some people have been asking, when are we getting a Spider-Man 2 review? It's coming soon. Probably next week. I'm pretty close to ending the story. I'm not convinced I'm going to go for all the collectibles. They're kind of tedious, but I don't know. We'll see. I'd rather kind of play another game, but I'll be reviewing Spider-Man 2. If not next week, the week after for sure. Depends on when I get it done. And what's wild is that coming into October 20th, I'll be honest, I was more excited about Spider-Man 2, I think, but I ended up playing Mario Wonder more. Both because it was easier to play while watching football and baseball because there was no cutscenes I had to listen to or anything. And also because it's just awesome. It is just a really fun charming game. And I know people dunk on the new Super Mario Brothers series, which I don't totally agree with, by the way. I think those games are fun. Minus New Super Mario Brothers 2. That one sucked. But Mario Wonder really did just kind of revive the 2D Mario genre. It is a lot like the new Super Mario Brothers games, but I think they did enough. They polished it up enough. They added enough spice, enough seasoning to make it different. Frankly, I was a little worried that Nintendo was going to stop making 2D Mario games after Mario Maker 2 took off. Thank fuck that is not the case. So obviously, I'm going to get into Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm going to let you know what I thought about it. I'm going to let you know where I'd slot it against the other Mario games on my all-time rankings list. If you don't know, Expansion Pass number 1, if you're interested, was my ranking all of the Mario games, the main platforming games. I'm not too worried about spoilers here. I am going to tell you what the new power-ups are. There's not a ton of them. I am going to kind of get into what the boss fights are. I will not ruin the final boss fight. It's Bowser, but I won't tell you what happens there. I'm not going to tell you what happens when you get the Wonder Flower at this stage or this stage. I am just going to get into some general ideas of what the Wonder Flowers do. I think that's about it. I don't think there's really too much to ruin, and I'm going to try to be careful about it. And then, of course, I'm going to let a bunch of you geeks sound off on the game as well, and we'll get to all that in just a minute because, as you know, part of your Patreon perk is a peek past the podcast here. So if you want to grab your mushrooms and ignore the talking plants and save your purple coins, which I'm going to rant about, I'll tell you what's been going on around here over the last week or so. You're not going to have to hear about it much longer, I promise, but my 24-hour stream is this weekend, Friday and Saturday. I'll be honest, like, I know most people are saying that the 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. both days is cool. I am excited about getting a couple hours to, get up and walk around and have some dinner and get some sleep, but I do kind of feel like I'm cheating doing 2 12s instead of a 24-hour stream. But dude, my back is, I'm not sitting in this chair for 24 hours. My sleep gets fucked up for days. I love the kids, but I don't love them that much. So it'll be Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Most of the schedule is locked down, unlike previous years where I kind of just made it up as I went. I am going to have a definitive schedule this year. I'm going to finalize it today. I'll have it posted so everybody can see it. I have a couple of slots where I'm planning single-player games, and I don't know what I'm going to play. I think on at least one of them, I'm going to fire up Sonic Superstars. Now that I'm done Mario and I'm getting close to done Spider-Man, I'd like to see what Sonic Superstars was all about. So I think I'm going to sneak that in on the stream at some point. Yeah, looking forward to it. Hopefully you can come by and check out the stream. It's going to be fun. My modern game schedule is getting pretty cleaned out. Like, once Spider-Man 2 is done, we have Mario RPG on November 17th. I know that's a short game. Sonic Superstars I want to play. As far as I'm aware, that's a pretty short game. And then I might try Persona 5 Tactica when it drops. I haven't decided yet. But other than that, I think I'm going to use the next couple of months to kind of catch up when it comes to modern games on a couple I missed. I think Callisto Protocol is probably next on my list. Now that it's on PS Plus, I really want to play it. I'd like to go back to Fire Emblem Engage at some point. I still want to play Star Wars Jedi Survivor as well. Those are probably the games near the top of my modern gaming list that I want to get to. So you'll maybe expect reviews. I don't know if anybody still wants a review on something like Callisto Protocol or Fire Emblem Engage or Star Wars Jedi Survivor, but I like reviewing the games that I play, so I'll probably end up doing reviews of them here on Expansion Pass. I will warn you all, there might not be a Remember the Game next week. It's up in the air. I'm going to see if I can make it work with the 24-hour stream. Usually I do the game recordings for Remember the Game on the weekend, and obviously it's kind of fucked up this weekend with the stream, so we wanted to do Burnout Revenge for next week, but the recording schedule just didn't line up. So the Burnout Revenge 1,000,000,000% is happening on November 15th for Remember the Game. I don't know what you'll get for an episode on November 8th, but I'll figure that out in 7 days. That's 7 days me's problem, not right now's problem. And I think that's just about it. I think we're good. So, and congratulations to Psychonauts for toppling Star Wars Battlefront 2 in the October Patreon poll. People have been asking me what I was cheering for on that Xbox poll. I'll be honest with you, I was hoping for either Psychonauts or Jade Empire. So I was good with anything. If it gets on the poll, I'm good with playing it. But I was hoping for Psychonauts or Jade Empire. So I'm glad that Psychonauts won. That's going to be fun. November's Patreon poll is going to be fucking hot because we're doing Xbox 360 and PS3 games combined. That's going to be fucking anarchy. So I will start that Discord thread in the coming days. You can get over there and make your suggestions if you want. We'll run that poll at the end of the month. And then obviously December's Patreon poll, like normal, will be RPGs. That's going to get spicy too. Good shit. I think that's everything. Let's talk Mario. That's the main event. That's why you're here, right? I've killed enough time. I'll cue up some music. And when it stops, I will hit you with my semi-spoiler-free Super Mario Bros. Wonder review. Let's go. I know the music's not lasting as long as normal, but again, Nintendo, they are not to be trifled with, and I don't want to fuck around, so we're going to get out of here before they shut me down and the Yakuza kick in my door, and I don't know. I don't know what they do to people, but I'm sure it's nothing good. Again, far as spoilers go, if you're really worried, I'm not going to ruin too much. I'm going to tell you about the story of the first 90 seconds. I'm going to tell you about the power-ups that are in the game, because I kind of have to, because it's a Mario review. I might reveal what it takes to 100% the game, but I'm going all into here, so be warned. If you want to go completely clean slate into this game, maybe skip this one. But there's really nothing too major for me to ruin or anything. So, all right? All right. Sid Fish wrote in and said, I honestly wasn't expecting any major 2D Mario games after Mario Maker 2 because I thought anything that could be done was done within Maker. Boy, was I wrong. Agreed. And agreed. And here's the thing. Number one, I've made this clear. I'm not the world's biggest Mario Maker fan. I was super pumped when that idea came out, but I think most people suck at making Mario levels, me included. So I was a little bit nervous that this was the death of my beloved 2D Mario games, because you're right. In theory, Mario Maker provides us with endless games, and that Mario Maker could do anything we needed it to do. But I really think Nintendo, I mean, I don't know if it was Miyamoto or whom it was that came up with the whole concept of Mario Wonder, basically just being a Mario acid trip, but they're a genius. Whoever it is a fucking genius. It was so smart, because it really did it basically took New Super Mario Brothers, which again, I don't think is as bad as some people make them out to be, and just pumped it full of steroids. And to me, like the real secret sauce of Super Mario Brothers Wonder isn't that it's just another classic 2D Mario platformer, because I'll be honest, like the platforming in this game is good, but as far as just basic straight up 2D Mario platforming, it's been done better. It's been done better. This one relies on a gimmick, and that gimmick is the Wonder Flowers, which we'll get more into. Fortunately, that gimmick works really, really well, and every fucking level, I'm excited to play it because I want to see what is that flower going to do here. You've all seen some of the clips, it just makes the whole world go insane in every level, and every level it seems to do something different, and it was really creative. It let them just go balls to the wall with their creative energy and their vision and just do whatever the fuck they wanted with it, and I think that's what makes this game special. Not only is it creative as fuck, but it looks gorgeous. You know, like, listen, is it Spider-Man 2? Is it whatever video game you think is the best looking game out there right now? Of course not. It's on the Nintendo Switch, which is, as we all know, a Fisher-Price toy, according to one former Remember the Game-ian, who left to battle gonorrhea, unfortunately. If you know, you know. But the Switch is underpowered, right? Especially in 2023. The Switch it was lagging behind the PS4 and Xbox One. It's going to get lapped by the PS5 and Xbox Series X soon. But this game looks stunning. I was playing it on streams, and people were coming by, and like, for a classic 2D Mario game where there really isn't a lot to do with the graphics, people were like, this looks really, really good. I would argue that this might be, at least as well, it's not, I don't know if I'd put it up there against like Mario Odyssey, but as far as 2D Mario goes, this is as good looking as Mario's ever been. And I would love to see the classic Mario games remade in this fucking engine. I think that would be so sick. So it looks awesome. It's creative as fuck. There's this sense of, Wonder is such a great name for this game, because there really is this sense of wonder as you're playing through it, because every level is different, and it's not just different because there's different enemies or different backgrounds or different obstacles, but this flower just goes off the fucking charts, and it just makes it so much fun, and it felt like being a little kid playing a game again and not knowing what's going to pop up. I also think it was very well designed in the sense that I think it's accessible by people of all Mario skill levels. I would hear an argument that maybe it's a smidge too easy if you're a diehard Mario player. Like, I 100%ed this game in under 20 hours, which is fine. I'm not complaining about that. But there was really only 2 or 3 levels that gave me any serious problems. And one was like, obviously there's, again, not to ruin anything about it. You can watch it on my Twitch channel if you want because I played it there. But it does have that one final level, just like all Mario games seem to these days. It's really tough. But it's definitely not the hardest Mario, but I like the way that they really toned down the difficulty. They added players, we'll get into all this, but they added characters that are there for, the person that's never played Mario before. There's all these equipable badges that give you all these different abilities that can make levels easier if you want them to and stuff like that. And I think it was just, at the end of the day, this game is Nintendo doing what they do best. They're being creative. They're being artistic. It's a fun Saturday morning cartoon of a game that runs perfectly, that anybody can play and enjoy, that you don't need to memorize. Like, that's the thing. It's weird going from Super Mario Bros. Wonder, where there's like 5 buttons to learn, to Spider-Man, where there's like 4 dodge and counter buttons. Not to mention all the attacks and everything. It's like they kept it simple, dumbass, right? Kissed. And I think I think this is Nintendo at their best. This is an ad by BetterHelp. A band once said, "Work sucks, I know." And I think most people agree with them. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress from their jobs. And while walking away from your job might not be an option, taking a little time every day to focus on yourself and your mental health can make a huge difference. I know in the summer I try to get outside every day, get a little bit of sun, and just enjoy the outdoors. It really helps. At least until my allergies attack, and then it's ugly. It's important to take steps to combat work stress, and therapy can be a huge one. It's not just for overcoming trauma. Therapy can help you define work goals, set some work boundaries, develop coping skills. It's like a cheat code for life. And if you're thinking, man, I'm too busy for therapy, well, look into BetterHelp. They make therapy as convenient as possible. You can meet with one of their over 30,000 therapists online and on your schedule, just like over 5 million people around the world already have done. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. We've had some great partners over the years here at Remember the Game, but I don't know if any of them have hit home for me quite like Hometown Hero does. No pun intended. Don't start. It's a transparent, honest cannabis company that helps people and gives back to those that have served their country at the same time. I mean, come on. As soon as I read about these guys, I knew I wanted to work with them. Hometown Hero is a cannabis company out of Austin, Texas, and they were founded back in 2015 by a U.S. veteran. They have 2 goals: create premium hemp products that can help everyone, and to support veterans by donating a portion of those profits to organizations set up to take care of those who have served. Hometown Hero products are of the highest quality, and everything they offer is made right there in the U.S. of A. Gummies, caramels, chocolates, drink mix. There's something for everyone. And what's more, their hemp is grown locally in Texas, which is something they should and do take a lot of pride in. And they offer certificates of analysis for everything they sell because they want to be clear that their products are as advertised, both in terms of potency and ingredients. No contaminants, you get what you pay for. Just how they conduct business is enough to get my good eyes' attention, but when you circle back to the fact that the company was founded by a veteran and they put such heavy emphasis on supporting veterans, this isn't just lip service. I'm not reading a script I was given here. I'm proud to have Hometown Hero associated with Remember the Game. Reclaim your evening. Visit hometownhero.com and use code RTG to take 20% off your first purchase. That's hometownhero.com, code RTG for 20% off your first purchase. People have been saying this is the best 2D Mario game since Super Mario World. I definitely agree with that. 100% it is. Where does this game rank all time for me? I'll tell you at the end. Be patient. I need a little foreplay. We'll tell you at the end where this ranks in my all-time Mario levels. Or games, excuse me. So let's go. Let's start it off with the story. Again, I'm sorry that I'm spoiling it, but you find all this out in the first 90 seconds of the game. Mario and the whole squad, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, the Toads. Where the fuck is Red Spot Toad? Drives me goddamned ass. Why is it blue and yellow Toad? I fucking hate blue and yellow Toad. Where in the fuck is my red spotted Toad? God, it just burns me. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, blue and yellow Toads, and then Toadette along with Yoshi and Nabbit, that little freak. They go to the Flower Kingdom. I will say I really enjoyed that, and I'm shocked that it took so long for them to introduce a Flower Kingdom after we spent so much time in the Mushroom Kingdom. I really, as soon as I saw that, I was just like, that is so... What a clever... Where the fuck has that been? Why have we not had a Flower Kingdom before? So you go to the Flower Kingdom, and Bowser shows up, being the jack-off that he is, and he steals the kingdom's Wonder Flower, which is the flower that makes everything go crazy, and he uses it to merge with the main castle there, and he floats away and lives in the castle and surrounds himself with ghosts, and you set off with Prince Florian, who's a caterpillar. It looks like a little green wiggler from the Flower Kingdom to collect 6 royal seeds that you can use to break through Bowser's spell and get into... I mean, I would say to get into the castle, but it is Bowser, so you basically need these 6. You need to collect your seeds to get in Bowser. Ugh. I know, but that is what it is. And save the day. It's fine. At least it's not just Princess Peach is kidnapped again, which I'm actually in favor of. I like that it's just something, like at the end of the day, it's just a reason to go through platforming levels and then eventually go fight Bowser. But I like that it's not just to save Princess Peach again. Like I said, speaking of Peach, you can pick from that entire cast of characters. Every level, you don't have to pick one at the beginning of the game or anything like that. Every level, you can just pick a new character and play as whoever you want. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Blue Toad, Yellow Toad, Toadette, Yoshi, or Nabbit, which is cool. I like it when you can play as multiple characters, but... A, where the fuck is Red Spot Toad? And B, it's a little bit that all the characters play the same. A little bit. There are no... Peach doesn't ever float or anything like that. Scott Jackson wrote in and said, "Yo, Adam, this game was so refreshing and I had such a great time playing through it. My only criticism, if you can call it that, is that I wish you could turn off easy mode for Yoshi and Nabbit. It'd be fun to play as both of them a little more." Yeah, that's what I was talking about, is I don't disagree with you, Scott. At least for Yoshi. Nabbit, nobody likes Nabbit. Nobody likes Nabbit. But Yoshi, people love Yoshi, that little shit. Everybody plays the same. And so Yoshi and Nabbit they're the two differences. They play the same, they control the same. They don't have any different abilities or anything, but they don't take damage. When you're running through the game, but when you pick up a power-up, they don't transform into like the elephant and stuff. So they don't take damage. They do fall. If you fall through a hole, you still die, but hits from enemies don't kill them. Which I like, in the sense of making it accessible to kids or to lesser players, or lesser skilled. We're all equals, but lesser skilled players, whatever. I personally would have preferred it if you could just turn that option on for any character. Because I did see people online be like, fuck, I want to play Yoshi. And I don't want to play it on baby mode. Or other people are like, I want to play baby mode, but I want to play as Peach or Mario. So minor criticism. I think it's a great idea by Nintendo to put that in there. But it would have been nice if you could toggle the not taking damage just on or off for whichever character you want, just so you could play as whoever you wanted to and play the game however you wanted. Minor thing, but I wish they'd included that. Like I said, I also wish they'd included abilities to make everyone play different. I think it would have added a lot more replay. The young King Ken wrote in and said, "The challenge is great, and the art direction Nintendo went for in this game is refreshing. I do wish, however, that they had included the time limit in the game, or the characters to have their usual abilities, like Peach's floating or Luigi's higher jumps. Otherwise, this game is going to be a classic for generations to come." I will say I disagree on the timer. I'm glad there's not a timer, especially because some levels do require some exploration to find hidden exits and stuff. I fucking hate timers, so I'm glad the timer was gone. But it would have been nice if the characters had all had their abilities, like Luigi's jump, like Princess's float. They all play exactly the same, other than Yoshi and Nabbit not taking damage. Now, the one thing in this game that you can kind of use to counter that, I guess, if you were, is you pick up badges throughout the game, and you can equip one badge per level, and the badges, and when you die or whatever, you can switch badges if you're like, that was no good, I need to try a different one, and the badges give you powers. And like, one of the badges lets you float as you're landing, like you take off your hat and use it like a parachute. One of them gives you the Luigi jumps. One of them, the one I use the most, Instead of just when you hit a wall, instead of wall jumping and going back the other direction at 45 degrees, you'll jump straight up in the air. Then you can jump back 45 degrees. There's one where you start every level with a mushroom power up, so you're always big to start the level. There's one that turns you invisible if you want to make the game harder. It's fucking hard. There's a lot of badges throughout the game, and you can mix and match them however you want. And while I do wish that each character had their own abilities and played a little bit different, I will meet Nintendo in the middle and say that I think the badge system was a reasonable compromise. Because you can, again, play basically as whoever you want with whichever badge you want once you find them, and switch them between lives. So you go into a level, and if you find out, like, fuck, this is really tough, I could really use a higher jump, then when you die, go back and equip the badge to give you a higher jump. Like that kind of stuff. So it's yin and yang. I'll beat them, it's fine. I'm not going to knock points off of it or anything like that. There's no obligation to beat the game with every character. Like when you played Mario 3D World, I think to 100% that game, you needed to beat the game with every character. Like 100%. You don't have to do that in this. It doesn't even keep track of which character you beat the game with, the levels with. Maybe it does if you beat a level with Yoshi or Nabbit. I never tried them. Maybe it does mark that you use the lack of better terms, the baby characters. But by and large, it doesn't care. I played most of the game as Mario. I did switch to Luigi, Peach, Daisy, and Toad at random times just to change it up for fun. And it doesn't keep track of which character you beat a level with or anything. So nothing like that. It's fine. Hang on, I need a drink of water here. My throat is parched. All the candy I ate last night because we had no fucking trick-or-treaters again. Kids hate me. Like I said, the difficulty in the game varies quite a bit. By and large, I definitely think it's on the easier side of the Mario spectrum, the scale as it were. But even like just throughout the game, the difficulty of levels varies quite a bit. Every level you go up to on the overworld, it shows you how difficult it is. I don't remember if it's a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. I don't remember, but either way, it'll either say like a 1-star level, which are like the early levels in the game, or like these are easy, like you'll beat these. But then it gets up to like the 5 or the 6, and there's only a few of them at the highest level, and some of those really high difficulty ranked levels, they live up to the name. They got some bite to them. Some of them are pretty tough. But again, I think that being able to pick Yoshi or Nabbit to negate damage, or to be able to equip whatever badge you want, you can really offset some of the difficulty in some of these levels with the right badge and stuff like that. If you're not going for a 100% run, I think this game is pretty beatable. Like I think I genuinely feel like most people could beat this game if they weren't going for the 100% run. Like they're so generous with the lives. There's really only, because it's one of those, it's like most Mario games now where when you go into like a new world, like when you go into World 1, say, there's, I'll get more into what you have to do to 100% the levels in a second, but each level you get seeds out of them. And you need to get like, I don't know, say you need like a dozen seeds to unlock the castle at the end of World 1. There's actually like 20 seeds throughout World 1. You only need a dozen. So if you're really just playing through it to beat the game and not going for 100%, you really don't even have to play the more difficult levels by and large if you don't want to, because you can get enough seeds in the easier levels and then add in Yoshi and Nabbit, add in the badges. It's pretty easy. And I did 100% it. The only thing I haven't done is there's these cardboard cutouts. They're like collectibles throughout the game, and they're that gacha mechanic, which I fucking hate. And I don't have all of them yet, and I'm out of the coins I need to buy more of them. So the only way I'm going to be able to get 100% of those is to go back and play through the game again to get enough coins to buy, which I'll explain all this later, which I might do. But other than that, if 100% of the whole game took me under 20 hours, it's not that bad. So to 100% a level, whenever you go into a level, most levels, there's exceptions, but to 100% a standard level, which is most of the levels in the game, you need to collect 3 big flower coins, which are sometimes hidden, sometimes they're right out in the open, but it's classic Mario. There's 3 big coins you need to collect. You also need to get all the wonder seeds in the level, which are the seeds are what you use to unlock future levels, like you use the stars in Super Mario 64. As you pick up these seeds, you get enough to unlock castles to move on with the game. So at 100% of level, you need to find the 3 big coins, you need to find all the seeds, and you need to hit the top of the flagpole at the end of the level. You need to get the flag. Nothing else will do. You need to get the flag and slide it down. Most levels only have 2 wonder seeds to collect. One of them is just for beating the level. If you get to the end and touch the flagpole at any height, you'll get a wonder seed. And the other one is usually at the end of the wonder flower section of the level, which I'll explain in just a minute. There's a few levels in the game that have 3 seeds in them because they have a second exit. They have a secret hidden exit somewhere in the game. So in those ones, you need to collect the 3 big coins. You need to get the secret exit because then you get a seed from the guy at the end of that level. And you have to get the regular exit because you'll get a seed from the guy waiting at that exit of the level. And then you need to get the flag as well. So whenever you've 100%ed a level, it'll put a green check mark on the level whenever you look at it on the map. So you'll know, all right, I've done everything there is here. Because sometimes you'll go into a level, you'll get all 3 of the big purple coins, you'll get both the seeds, and you'll get the flag. And then you'll look at it and you still don't have your green check mark. That's its way of telling you there's a secret exit in there. There's a 3rd seed that you still have to go find. So it's pretty easy. I like that when you bring up the map, you don't just look at it's not like the Super Mario World map where you can just like float around and look at it. When you bring up the map in this game, you can click an independent world like world 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. And then once you zoom in on that world, there's a white dot for every level in that world. And any level that you've gotten to on the map, you can pick and go play whenever you want. Fast travel there. It's very nice, very simple, easy to go. I don't think the map is anything to write home about, but it's fine. The 3 big coins that you have to collect in every level are purple coins, which you pick up throughout the game. You pick up these little, you can actually pick up like 0.1 purple coins too. They're these like little flower pieces, and every 10 of those you get another coin. So like when you see the top of the screen, they still have the gold coins where when you collect 100, you get an extra life, but there's also these purple flower coins and it maxes out at 999, but you might have like 847.4 because you got 4 of those fractions. Those 3 purple coins you have to find in each level are just more of those. And then you use those to buy supplies in the overworld at stores. There's stores that sell additional badges that you can equip. There's stores that sell extra lives. There's stores that can sell the standees, which again, I fucking hate these fucking standees. So if you haven't played it yet, these standees are the collectibles in the game. There's cardboard cutouts. There's like 10 for every playable character or something. And in most stores in the game, it costs you 10 flower coins to buy 1 random standee. Like going to a vending, like a gacha game where you turn the handle, it gives you the random bubble, and you might get a duplicate of one you already have, or you might get one you're missing. There's 144 in total. Countless people have told me there is a shop near the end of the game that will sell you specifically a standee that you don't already have. Here's my gripe, though. They charge 30 coins per standee, and you can only carry 999 coins. I spent half the game with my coins maxed out at 999 because I had nothing to buy. Then I finished the game and found out the only thing I had left to do to get a 100% file is go get all the standees. So then I go to this guy because I've got about 100 of them. I still need 44, and I can pay 10 coins and take my chances and probably pull a double, or I can pay 30 coins and go get one that I automatically need. But when you go and pay the 30 coins, you've only got enough to buy 30 standees, and then you're out of coins, and there's no level to get a whole bunch of coins. So now I need to go back out there and just replay the fucking levels to get enough purple coins to go buy more fucking standees to get the whole collection. And if I had just known I needed them throughout the game, I would have been buying them throughout the game. This is my biggest gripe with Mario Wonder. If you want me to get all the standees to 100% the game, let me carry more than 999 coins. The amount of time throughout this game where I had 999 and I was still just playing and picking up more purple coins, and it's like, let me carry 3,000. I probably would have had 3,000 coins at the end of the game. And then I would have just bought all my standees and be done. But now instead, I have to go through and just play levels where most levels, if you're lucky, you get 5 or 6 purple coins. And it costs me 10 to get a random one or 30 to get one that I need. And I still need 40 some of them, which is 1,200 coins if I do it the 30 coin way. So I'm sure it's there to just add replayability, or it's there to introduce kids to their first loot box. I don't fucking know. It's really not the end of the world because it doesn't impact the game at all. It's just as somebody that wants to 100% it, I'm probably just going to play through the fucking game again, honestly. I might just do a second run through the game and then just collect all the purple coins as I'm going. And every time I have 300 or 400, I'll go up to the special world and buy a bunch more that I need till I finish the collection. So anyway, that's what the point is with these purple coins you pick up in the levels. Use them to buy badges, use them to buy lives, use them to buy seeds. And then if you want 100% the game, it's a piece of advice from me. Every time you've got a max 999, which you will have a lot in this game, go buy a bunch of standees. Because otherwise at the end of the game, you're going to have to go back and grind again just to pick up more purple coins to buy more standees. All right? Just fucking buy them as you go, and then hopefully you'll have most of them by the end of the game. Let's talk about the Wonder Flower. That is the secret sauce of this game. There's one in every level, at least every regular. I think in every level. I know definitely in every regular level. There's a couple of special levels we'll get into, and I think some of them, maybe they don't have the wonder flowers, but most levels in the game do. And sometimes the flower's right out in the open, you can't miss it, and sometimes it's completely hidden and you really need to go searching for it to get it. But once you get it, that's when, as you've probably seen in the game trailers and stuff, Mario basically goes on like an acid trip, and the whole level just goes crazy, and it is absolutely the highlight of this game, never knowing what's going to happen. It's the coolest fucking shit. I'm not going to spoil any specifics on what levels it happens, but there are levels where it turns into an auto-scroll level once you pick up the flower, and all the enemies just start singing like in unison, and it's fucking hilarious. There are levels that turn the whole world upside down. There are levels that make it into top-down games where all of a sudden Mario gets lifted up and he's walking on the background, but the game is still a 2D side-scroller, and you're looking at Mario from the top down, trying to dodge enemies and walking around. There's there's levels that make pipes crawl along the ground like snakes, and you have to ride them. There's so many. That's just like a hint of all the crazy shit that can happen when you pick up these wonder flowers. It is just like the coolest. It is absolutely the coolest part of the game. And like I said, when you beat the wonder flower section of a level, usually you get rewarded with a seed, which is one of the seeds that you're looking for. So I cannot stress enough, when you're playing this game, go out of your way to look for the wonder flowers in every level and do your absolute best to not look up what they do. I tried to keep it as vague as I could there because I really don't want to, absolutely the highlight of the game is going into a level not knowing what the fuck is going to happen when you pick up that flower. So just enjoy the ride. I genuinely don't know if I can think of a level where I was disappointed in what the wonder flower did. There's a few that repeat a little bit, but I don't think I ever ran into an area where I was upset by what the wonder flower did. It was always fucking awesome. So look it up. It's the coolest. Fuck me. So what a great fucking system, man. Oh my God. It's a way for them to introduce like all these crazy new ideas and make them make sense. It's brilliant. I love it. Wonder seeds or wonder flowers are the fucking best. Brandon DeZeba wrote in instead of the new power-ups introduced, which is your favorite? Yeah, I know some people don't want this spoiled for them, but you get them all fairly early, and it's really hard to review a Mario game and not talk about the new power-ups because that's always one of the highlights of a Mario game. In addition to your standard mushroom, fire flower, and star in this game, you've got the elephant. I don't know if it's a mushroom. It looks like a balloon. I don't know what the fuck it is. But I think everybody has seen the elephant. They've been using that to market it since day one. When you pick up the elephant balloon thing, you turn into an elephant version of yourself. And I will say, it's worth playing it as all the other characters at least once, just to see what they all look like as elephants, because it's pretty entertaining. You get really big, they're big fucking characters when they're the elephants. But you have a couple of new abilities. You can swing your trunk to either attack enemies in front of you or to break through bricks and stuff like that. And there's a lot of water in the game. Sometimes you'll find a water fountain or a pipe spitting up water, or you'll find just little pots, clay pots with water in them. And whenever you touch them as the elephant, your trunk gets full of water, and then you can squirt water 3 or 4 times before you have to go and refill it. And you can use that to water plants that will then do things behind you. You can use it to put out enemies when they're fire enemies. You can use it for all kinds of fun. It's really interactive, fun little game. So that's basically all the elephant does. Other than that, I gotta say, sure, the elephant's funny looking. Elephant's not my favorite power up. I found him to be, he's really big, and it just made it easier for enemies to hit me. And once the novelty of seeing your favorite Mario character as an elephant wears off, you're just kind of like a big stupid elephant. So overrated animal, the elephant. I'm sorry, overrated animal. But that's the elephant. The other abilities in this game that are new are at least, I think there's a drill in Mario Galaxy or something, but you can get a drill mushroom in this one, which gives Mario a drill on top of his head. When enemies hit you on top of the head, they get hurt. You can jump up to them from underground and hurt them. And you can either drill into the ground, or if you can reach the ceiling of a level, you can jump up and drill into the ceiling. And then you're just like the Bugs Bunny mound of dirt in the ground. And until you hit a ledge that you can't go over, you just basically burrow along and enemies can't hurt you. And sometimes you use it to get into secret areas and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I like the drill mushroom. And then there's a bubble flower. It looks like a fire flower, but different color scheme. When you pick it up, you look like you have a fire flower, but you're a different color scheme. And instead of spitting fireballs, you spit bubbles. And the bubbles can either capture an enemy inside of them, and then they pop and kill the enemy, or you can just blow them out in front of you and then actually bounce off of them. one time. So to answer your question, Brandon, I think the bubble flower is probably my favorite of the elephant, the drill and the bubble. I will say by and large, I actually preferred the fire flower. Like, not my favorite batch of new power-ups. Give me the cat suit from 3D World or the bee mushroom or the ice flower from the Galaxy games over these. But they're good. They're fine. They're fine. Not the worst batch. Bubble is the best one though. I mentioned it earlier. I just had it here in my notes. There's no timer in most levels, which actually I don't think there's a timer in any levels. Other than the auto-scrolling levels, of course. But no timer is fucking awesome because it lets you just explore as much as you want. And I'll tell you, some of the secret exits, there's a secret exit in one of the first levels of the game that's, frankly, for my money, one of the hardest secret exits in the game to find. But I like that there's no timer, so you can take your time and look around and find it. That's a big plus. Like I said, various kinds of levels. Most are the standard left to right scrolling or up down whatever platformers that we've all played a billion times. Some of them are badge challenge levels, which I really like. They're usually short ones, and these ones don't count against your lives. When you die, you don't lose a life. You just start over. And in these ones, you either gain access to a new badge or it makes you equip a badge that you already have. And then it's a challenge just based around whatever skill that badge is giving you. I really liked those levels. Some of them were tough. Some of them were easy. They were pretty good. There's some enemy gauntlet levels where you'll come into an area where because you can store an item in this game like you can in most Mario games. So you'll come into an area where it's basically giving you unlimited elephant, fire, bubble, and drill power-ups, and you can take one as your stored item and take one as your active item, and then you have to go through 3 or 4 levels of enemies and just kill them as fast as you can and get to the end. And the 3 purple coins are there, and they're assigned to like basically a bronze, silver, and gold time. So maybe you've got 90. If you beat it in 90 seconds, you get 1 coin. If you can beat it in 80 seconds, you get 2 coins. And if you beat it in 70 seconds, you get 3 coins. I like those levels. They were pretty good. Really, the only levels in the game that kind of irritated me a little bit is there was 4 or 5 of them where you just have to look for these hidden badges. They're just tiny levels. They're not big. There's usually no enemies. There's not a lot of enemies. And you need to find 5 like flower badge coin things that are hidden. And you need to figure, or they're not hidden, but like you need to figure out how to get to them. Or they might be hidden. Some levels they are just invisible. Some levels you can see them, but other shit in the level's invisible. And it's basically just solving the puzzle of figuring out how to get them. I think those levels range from like okay to kind of crappy. Those were my least favorite. But by and large, I like that it changed it up. You weren't just playing the same levels over and over again. And then, like I said, add in what the Wonder Flower does to levels, and it's just a lot of variety. Like one of my favorite things about this game would be beating a level and then going back to the overworld and progressing to the next level and having no idea what the fuck it was going to be. Is it going to be a platformer? Am I going to be looking for these badges? Is it going to be an enemy gauntlet? Is it going to be a badge challenge? What's happening here? And I really liked the variety of levels. That was good shit. There are airships, not a ton of them, but I do think that the airships are some of the coolest levels in the game. You go up on the classic Bowser airships and it's auto-scrolling and you fight your way through. Those were the levels. The airship levels were the ones that made me think I'd love to see some classic Mario games like Mario 3 or Mario World redone in these graphics. I think that'd be fucking sick because the ships in this game are fucking dope. They're really, really cool. Yeah. Mwah. As always, I'm going to try to be vague about this and not ruin it, but there is a special world full of funky levels that you gain. Basically, there's 6 entrances to it from the 6 main worlds in the game, and then you get to play some harder levels up there in the sky. If you can complete all those, then there's a couple even harder levels hidden behind that. Those are like the hardest levels in the game. Like I said, the final level in the game goes on for quite a long time, and it took me about an hour and probably about 50 lives to beat. You can right now you can see the replay of me beating that level on Twitch. It took me about an hour if you're interested. But I will say I wish there was a few more of those types of levels. Not that the game is too easy, but I love those really difficult challenge levels at the end. And like if you're scared off by that, I will say I don't remember what it was called. The bonus level in 3D World. I think it was Champions Road. That one was harder than the final level in this, and some of the darker side of the moons levels in Odyssey are harder than the final level in this game is. Not that it's easy, but it's not as hard as some of like the really hard hidden levels in other games. Like I said, I 100%ed it aside from getting all the standees. And it says, I don't know exactly how long I took, but my Switch says I've played for 15 hours or more. So it took me some time between 15 and 20 hours to 100% it, minus having to get all the standees, which I'm just going to go back and replay through the game to get enough purple coins to buy all of them. If you're going for a 100% run and you're playing it right now, I highly recommend every time you've got extra purple coins, go buy some standees. Like, start collecting them now, because once you hit that 999 cap, you're just wasting the purple coins you're picking up because you can't use them. And that is frustrating to me because I literally need those to finish off the last challenge of the game now. So, but at the same time, like, if my biggest problem with the game is that I have to play it again, it's a pretty dope game. That's not the end of the world. The bosses, I won't spoil the final. I mean, I don't think it's spoiling to say the final fight is against Bowser. I think everybody expects that. I will not even hint at what happens in that final fight, but we just did that best boss fights episode, and I don't know if this fight against Bowser would have made my list for that best boss fights episode of Expansion Pass, but it would have been a contender. Definitely one of the better Bowser fights in all of Mario. But other than that, when you're going through the 6 like minor worlds or whatever you want to call them, the 6 other worlds, it's just Bowser Jr. You fight him in a variety of ways, and some of the fights are a little bit creative, but I was not its strongest suit. Where the fuck are the Koopa kids? I want the Koopalings back so bad. Bowser Jr. is a hemorrhoid on Nintendo's ass, and we need to prep H that shit. I fucking hate that kid. But you fight him a few times, and he's okay. Bowser fight is awesome. Yes. And I will say, too, there's a couple of worlds that don't have a final boss fight, which I was a little bit shocked by. Didn't really ruin anything for me because I was like, how many times do I need to fight Bowser Jr.? But there are a couple where there aren't boss fights to wrap up the world. Lotus wrote in and said, it was great. I love playing through it. The end boss was actually really fun to beat, and I'm sure I will play through it more times in the future. Yeah, I agree. The final boss fight against Bowser is dope. I did beat him first try. I didn't find it particularly hard, but it's a really stylish, creative. It fits the tone of this game. When you get there and fight him, you'll find out. It definitely is a Mario Wonder final boss fight. It didn't let me down. I did not try the multiplayer. I want to play with Shaylee. We just haven't had a chance to sit down. My assumption is that it's basically New Super Mario Bros., where the screen is kind of going to like watch all of you, but it kind of can't, and you can get pulled off the screen and stuff like that. I have seen some people say it's fun to play with their kids and stuff like that, but I gotta say I did not try it. The other thing you can do is play online, and you can't play online with your friends and play a standard multiplayer game. You can turn on the online, and then other players' characters show up, and you can see their runs, and they might help you find hidden items and stuff. Some liked it. I did not. Dr. Flapjacks wrote in and said, first time I realized the other players showing up were live players and not just ghosts of past runs, my mind was blown to pieces. I've been helping some, and I've been helped by many. The other players are awesome. I will say I did turn it on for one level, found it incredibly distracting, and turned it off. But as everybody knows, I hate people. I like to play my games alone, so you can experiment with the online if you want to, but I would say if you're like sitting there wondering, hey, should I just buy this game to play online? I would say absolutely not. You can't just play it with your friends, 4 players, like split screen or anything. It's got the local multiplayer. Otherwise, you're just getting online ghosts and stuff, and that is what it is. Graphics, I'm just wrapping up here with a few other notes that I have written down. Graphics are great. I think it's some of the best in the series. Looks really fucking good. One of the great things this game does, and it's not the first game to do it, of course, but one thing it does really, really well is you can go from the main like where you're playing into the background, and then you see them way off in the distance, or you can come right up to the foreground sometimes, and you're right up against the screen. I thought that was very, very cool and well done. The enemies look great. The game was silky smooth. I've never really felt a hankering to see Super Mario World or Super Mario Bros. 3 remade in the new Super Mario Bros. Graphics engine. I would love to see them remade in this engine. I would love to see that. It's a really good looking game. Not everybody liked it. Lord Finish wrote in and said, I could never, ever play this game. I've watched some streams, and what the fuck is up with those constant annoying sound effects? How do you put up with that? It's like a modern-day version of a participation trophy. Good job. You managed to move Mario an inch. Here's your reward. Some ear-shattering bells and whistles, and some fucking confetti and fireworks. Fair enough. I mean, I disagree. First of all, you don't get the fireworks and shit in every level. I mean, maybe you do it when you beat the level, but I think there's a level very early on in the game. If you've played the game at all, you probably know which level I'm talking about. There's a level very early on in the game that turns into like a 3-minute song and dance. And it's charming the first time you watch it. It gets annoying by the 8th time. I did see some people complain about the voice acting because it's not Charles Martinet. It's this new guy. I honestly, I didn't really notice. I did find the jump sound effect off just a little bit. It sounded just a little higher and weird. But that was okay. My thing with the sound in this game was I didn't think the music was that great. It wasn't that it was bad. But like so many Mario games have such iconic, memorable, burned into your brain, you'll never forget it music. And I didn't find that with this game. I thought the music was like, it did the job. It was okay. But there's no songs in this that like you're going to be humming forever. At least I'm not anyway. So I thought that was a little bit meh. I will say though, there's these flowers in the background of the game. And you run by them throughout the game. They don't do anything. They just talk. And some of them are actually really funny. Some of them are just like, go get them. Good luck. Nice try. You can do it. But then some of them are just like, don't leave me here. What's going on? What is this? Or like, it's so hot in here when you're in like a fire level. Some of those plants can actually be pretty entertaining. They pop up in the background. I guess when the game first came out, people were hacking it and making the plants say horrible things. Nintendo's cracked down on that. But those talking plants are actually pretty funny. So fair enough. I didn't find it to be. I mean, it's a Mario game. It's gonna be full of obnoxious sound effects. I don't know. I've played Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Once you've played that and listened to Mario scream and cry, I feel like you're bulletproof when it comes to annoying sound effects. I guess as I get ready to wrap it up and we start heading into some final comments and I slap a score, let me just say, very polished. And I'm not trying to suck the Nintendo dick. I just lit them up on Game Patch for the way that they won't let people have tournaments with their games and stuff. I'm not saying everything Nintendo does is great, but like I've said it a billion times and I will continue to say it. Nintendo developed games and Pokemon is not Nintendo developed. People always bring that argument up to me. Nintendo published it. Nintendo had a part in it, but Nintendo did not make Pokemon Scarlet and Violet or whatever ones that were broken. Nintendo games just aren't broken. You didn't need a day one patch. No bugs. Especially when I like Spider-Man 2, but when you compare it to Spider-Man 2 and all the complaints about bugs and stuff, Super Mario Bros. Wonder just ran great. It's just a classic Nintendo game. They don't release them broken, and they don't release them till they're finished. And this game is just smooth as ice. And just tip of my cap to them. In an era where more and more games need patches day one and there's bugs and crashes and shit all the time, this one ran like a dream. So well done. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I hope that Super Mario Brothers Wonder ends up. I hope there's some kid out there today playing Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and in 20 years, they're like, that was their Super Mario World. Like everybody knows how much I adore Super Mario World. I know I'm not the only one. I know a ton of you do. And it doesn't matter if it's Super Mario World. It doesn't matter if it's Super Mario World, the original Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, Mario 64, whatever that Mario game is that just made you fall in love with the franchise, this will be that for a bunch of kids. And I'm really excited by that. I can't wait to see what those kids are saying and doing if some of them are game developers and stuff in 20 years. This is a special game. If I played this as a little kid, this game would have blown my fucking mind. So I really liked that. Jet Fuel wrote in and said, I love this game. I got sick with strep throat right after it came out, so I stayed home from work and 100%ed it within the first week. I grew up on the 64, so I've only recently played all the classic 2D Mario games to completion, except Yoshi's Island. Fuck that game. Mostly due to this podcast. I'm going to cut into your comment. Yoshi's Island's awesome. I like that game. I think that's the hardest one to 100% of maybe any Mario game ever. But I like that game. Anyway, back to Jet Fuel's comments. Jet Fuel said, I haven't decided if this beats out Super Mario World for me yet. The Wonder Flower is a wonderful addition, but I wish more levels had secret exits, and I wish they were clearly marked rather than having to 100% a stage and see if you got a check or not. And fuck those fucking horseshit Mario Maker ass search levels. Everything else is perfect, and I love the difficulty in the bonus worlds. Yeah, those search levels are a little bit annoying. I will say I agree with that. When you beat a level, you feel like you 100%ed it because you got both Wonder Seeds, all 3 purple coins, and they got the flag. But then you still need to pause it every time and go into the map and look at your level list to see if you got the green check mark. Because if you didn't, that means there was a secret exit in there. And it can be frustrating if you didn't notice that. Minor thing, but I do agree with that, Jet Fuel. Like I said, I guess if I have... My minor complaint is that the characters all play the same. My major complaint, if you want to call it that, is I do feel it was a little short. I'm not a fan of equating how long a game is to its value. I don't know why people do that when so many gamers complain about open world games being so bloated. But then if a game is 15 hours, you get people being like, that's a ripoff. It was too short. But I'm not saying it was a ripoff. I think the levels have so much variety. I will end up playing this game over and over again. I really hope we get DLC. But I could have lived with one more world or a few more of the really tough levels at the end. That's all I was looking for, was one more world of levels, or like instead of 2 really tough levels at the end, give me like a world full of them. Like, just when you compare it to, like, Mario 3D World, for example, it just felt a little bit on the short side, but not a huge deal. Great fucking game. And give me quality over quantity every fucking time. Give me a 6-ounce steak that's, like, top cheddar, top cut over, like, 40 ounces of fucking bologna with sear marks on it. I do like bologna, though. A couple of comments from all of you before I slap a score on this and let you know where it ranks in my Mario games. Dan Harrington said, I'd say this game makes the shortlist for Game of the Year, but definitely hands down wins the most fun and enjoyable Game of the Year. I would hear an argument that this is the most fun Game of the Year. I will say I don't see a way this isn't on my personal shortlist for Game of the Year. When I say shortlist, I mean probably 5 finalists. I genuinely can't decide if I think it's going to win it or not. I'm really, you'll have to tune into the Blankies in January to find out. I really don't know. But frankly, I think it's a testament to how good and creative this game is that a 2D Mario game in 2023, in one of the most stacked years of video games we've ever had, will be on a nomination list for Game of the Year. Up against, when you look at some of the other games that came out this year, like your Baldur's Gates, your Tears of the Kingdoms, your Diablo 4s, your Resident Evil 4s, your Starfields, your Spider-Man 2s, I know the list goes on and on and on, that a classic 2D platforming Mario game could be in that conversation should say a lot about how good of a game this is. The Angry New Yorker said, I'm enjoying this game so far when it's not frustrating the fuck out of me. I'll probably finish it by the weekend. It's definitely a great game, and it has that Nintendo polish. It is. It's polished to like a fucking shine. And Super Swede Joachim, Super Swede Joachim, I don't know how to say that. I'm probably saying that wrong. Said, playing this game takes you back to when you were young and you got up early to play Super Mario before your older brother woke up. I can't remember when I played a game with a smile on my face the whole way through. I dare even say that Wonder has dethroned Mario World as my favorite 2D Mario. It's a bold take, Super Swede. That's the question I've been getting from people. Is it your new favorite 2D Mario? As of now, no. As of now, I think it's still Super Mario World for me, but keep in mind that Super Mario World and I have been best friends for going on 30-some years, and I have probably played through Super Mario World 100 times. I have played Super Mario Wonder once, and we go back 3 weeks. So, 2 weeks, whatever. I'm going to play through it a few more times. I'm going to let it simmer. Nostalgia is a powerful drug. I don't know if I can see it conquering Super Mario World to get my number 1 spot. I also don't think I can slot it in ahead of Super Mario Odyssey at my number 2. But I think it probably sneaks in as my new number 3. I think, and I don't think that's just because I just played it. Frankly, I think it hurts the game that I haven't played it more, or that I don't have any nostalgia for it. I think my top 3 Mario games would now be Super Mario World, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I think that would probably be from 1 to 3 how I'd rank my 3 favorite Mario games now. It is easily the best 2D Mario since Super Mario World. It's a return to form for the franchise that I don't know if it ever lost outside of New Super Mario Brothers 2. That fucking game sucks. It's a great fucking game. If I'm giving it a score out of 10, it's an easy 9. And if it had more runway, if I had a few more levels, maybe a couple more difficult levels at the end, I think it might, if it had, like, you know, in Super Mario World, you go to Star World, and then once you beat those 5 levels, then you get the path up to those 8 tough levels to wrap the game up. If it had those 8 tough levels instead of what it has, I think it might have gotten close to that perfect 10. But that was my one complaint, was I finished it, and it left me wanting more, which is a good thing, but I want fucking more. So I hope we get DLC or something. Easy 9, top 3 all-time Mario game for me. Really good fucking game. Cannot recommend playing it enough. And just enjoy the ride, man. Don't look up what the Wonder Flowers do in advance. I purposely tried to keep that as vague as I could. Just enjoy the ride. It's such a great fucking game. I love Mario. Anyway, that's it for Expansion Pass 185, my Super Mario Bros. Wonder review. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Game patch tomorrow, 24-hour stream Friday and Saturday. Hope you can come by. Next week's Expansion Pass, if I beat Spider-Man 2 in time, will be Spider-Man 2 review. That one might be a spoiler cast. I rarely do that, but I feel like it's similar to God of War Ragnarok. I don't know how much I can say about it without getting into the story. So that one might be a spoiler cast. I'll let you know. If I'm not ready to review it in time, then next week will probably be a look at the games on my backlog I'm going to dive into as soon as my current backlog from hell is empty, because we're getting close. And that's something we've been talking about for a little while now. All right? Thanks for listening, everybody. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Go play some Mario Wonder. And what a year from games. Fuck me. I'll talk to you on the next one. Cheers, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I appreciate it. Again, apologies for the lack of a regular Remember the Game episode this week. We will get back to you next Wednesday. You know the whole rigmarole. If you liked this episode and you want a whole bunch more of these ad-free, patreon.com/Remember the Game. Subscriptions start at $3 a month. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next week. Cheers.